The weather is definitely getting colder here. We even have some snow in the forecast this week, so that means that my kids are drinking lots of hot chocolate. Welcome back to Lavender and Lace. This is Alicia. I hope you enjoy the projects in today's video. I have several things that you can put out at your hot chocolate bar or in your kitchen and your dining room, and just a couple of DIYs that you can give as Christmas gifts. So please stick around and let's get started with the video. I got this ladder in a 2-pack from Hobby Lobby, and I don't really decorate with apples or anything like that, so I thought this would be perfect to DIY with for the Christmas season. So I just removed the little hanger at the top, and it was pretty easy to take off of there. I just had to use my staple puller to remove that staple, and I set aside the little bow because I will reuse that. And I just took some of my Waverly chalk paint in white and painted over the letters on the sign, and this did take about 3 good coats to cover up the writing on the sign. I've mentioned before that we homeschool, so a lot of my projects I need to have them be quick and simple because I'm usually doing other things at the same time as crafting. So I may be helping kids with math or language or something else like that, or I'll usually have laundry going, dishwasher running, working on a meal for the day. So all of my projects just need to be something simple that I can do while I have these other things going on, and this project definitely fit the bill for that. So once my chalk paint had dried completely, I just went in with a pencil and wrote out the words hot chocolate. This is going to go with my little hot chocolate bar, which I will show you guys all of these projects together once they're all completed. And I just wrote that out first with my pencil and went back over that with a paint pen. I don't think I have the best handwriting, but I did as best as I could on this small sign. And I just added a little bit of decorative embellishments around the edge of my sign. And then I wanted to just distress the ladder a little bit so it would match the rest of my decor in the kitchen. So I just took some of the Waverly chalk paint in white and just went around each of the edges and the rungs of the ladder just to add that distressed look. And just to finish off this really quick project, I just went back in with some hot glue and reattached my sign as well as the red and white checked bow. And then I just added a little bit of red, green, and white baker's twine at the end to go over the original bow. Seen other YouTubers make these faux hot chocolates and faux sweets for their kitchen and dining room, and I wanted to try them myself this year. I did one for fall that was a pumpkin spice latte, and this one will be a hot chocolate. I found this mug at my local thrift store, and I thought it was the perfect size and the shape to do this with. So I just took my Waverly chalk paint in the color Truffle, and I had started at the bottom, trying to get coverage as good as possible. It's a little bit difficult with this foam brush for some reason, but it did take 2 coats. make the whipped cream topper for my hot chocolate, I just took some of the spackling that you can get from the Dollar Tree, and I just put that into a plastic cup and added some water to that. And I did use warm water, and that seemed to help mix in a little bit better. And my spackling was pretty dry, so it took quite a bit of water. And I just mixed that really well and got the consistency that I wanted, so I would be able to pipe that onto my topper. And if you add too much water, you can just add a little bit more spackling in there and just keep mixing until you get a consistency that you're happy with. I had a small home-based cake business several years ago, and I learned this trick to fill your piping bags. It's just to put them down into a cup and put your icing, or spackling in this case, in your bag, and just fill that up. It just makes it a whole lot easier than trying to hold your bag and fill it at the same time. And then you're just able to remove your bag from the cup and just twist the top to get your icing down to the bottom of your tip, and then you can just start piping whatever it is that you need to. And my topper I actually made before I started filming YouTube videos. It was just a piece of cardboard, and I cut the bottom off of a styrofoam ball and just hot glued that to the piece of cardboard. So I just took my spackling and just covered the styrofoam as best as I could and tried to fill in any of the gaps around the cardboard. To decorate my topper, I took this pack of faux sprinkles that I got from Amazon, and I just picked out the peppermint and the chocolate chip pieces, and I sprinkled those all around the spackling and made sure to stick them in here and there if they didn't want to stick too well to the spackling. I didn't have any paper straws or anything else like that I thought would look good as a straw in my topper for my hot chocolate, so I just took a red glue stick and just trimmed it off a little bit so it would be the right length. And then I took some baker's twine and just secured that at the top with some hot glue and wrapped that around the glue stick to make it kind of look like a candy cane of sorts. And then I secured that at the bottom with some more hot glue, and I added just one of the little peppermint pieces to the top of my straw and just placed that into my topper. I let my whipped cream dry overnight before attaching it to the top of my mug, and to do that I just went around the rim with some hot glue and centered my topper as best as I could, trying to be careful not to knock off any of the spackling that may not have set up yet. And then I just started to go around the rim with some white glue. So I just continued around the rim of my mug, and I was just trying to cover up the cardboard and the styrofoam that you could still see. And I was having all kinds of problems with glue guns for this project. This was the second one that I used, and the glue just didn't want to come out, but I did the best as I could to make some drips because I wanted the whipped cream to look like it was melting around the rim of the hot chocolate. The next sweet treat that I wanted to make was a couple of cupcakes, and to start this project I just glued down a couple of small styrofoam balls into some cupcake wrappers, and I had some of the leftover spackling that I had used for my hot chocolate topper, and I just went around those styrofoam balls with the spackling to make my icing. And I tried to fill in the gaps, but I did run out of spackling. I should have had just a little bit more for this project. still had some gaps between my quote cupcake and the wrapper for this project, so I just went around the styrofoam ball and tried to fold up the cupcake wrapper just a little bit and stick that into the spackling so it would be secure and look more like an actual cupcake and not a styrofoam ball. I should have started this project differently, but I will show you something that I did do in the end to this to kind of remedy that. And then I just added some of these little faux candy canes and red and green Christmas trees that I had picked up from Hobby Lobby. And I also added some red and white glitter to the tops of my cupcakes just to give them a little bit of Christmas sparkle. While I was making the cupcakes, I realized that I should have put something flat on the bottom of the wrapper to help them be more stable. So what I did, I just cut a small piece of cardboard and glued into the bottom of another cupcake wrapper and just glued down the one that I had already made to that piece of cardboard. And then I just folded up the wrapper once again and put some hot glue here and there so it would fold over and look nice. I wanted a serving tray or a riser for my hot chocolate mug, and to do that I just used a candlestick and a little candle tray from the Dollar Tree, and I took some hot glue and attached those pieces together, and I just put a weight on top of that and let that set up overnight. I took my tray outside and used some of the Krylon Fusion spray paint in the hammered cocoa brown. This is one of my favorite colors right now. And I just gave my tray one good coat of this spray paint, and it dries really quickly, so I was able to do this in about, 30 minutes maybe. And I just did some touch-ups to a few of the areas that were harder to get to. Once my piece was dry, I brought it back in and it was ready to add a little bit of distressing to. I just took my Waverly chalk paint in white and just very lightly went around the rim of the tray and also around the base just to give it a little bit more dimension, and I tried to have this look the opposite of some of the other decor pieces that this is going to be setting up next to. Here's how everything looks set up, all of the DIYs that I've been working on for my hot chocolate bar. And I don't have a whole lot of counter space to put a lot of items, so I just try to utilize what space that I do have. Just do some small pieces to add in, and I think this turned out really cute. And we don't do a whole lot of different items in our hot chocolate either, so my kids just like marshmallows and some candy canes and maybe some extra chocolate syrup and sprinkles every now and then. But I hope this gives you guys some ideas for your space. For this project, you will need a small wooden block, and I picked this one up at Hobby Lobby in the clearance section. Just removed the sticker that was on the front and sanded down that paper to get it a little bit smoother to paint. And I just took some of the Waverly chalk paint in crimson and added a little bit of black. And this gets me that rusty red color that I like. And I just painted the front and the sides of my block. And it took one coat on the front, and then I did just a couple of coats on each of the sides to make sure that I had really good coverage. Once the paint had dried, I just went in with a piece of sandpaper and distressed the edges. And I picked up this pack from the Dollar Tree that had different grit sizes of sandpaper, and I believe the one that I used for this project was an 80 grit, and it worked really well for what I needed to do with it. One of our favorite Christmas traditions is baking cookies each year, and I love to use my granny's recipes that I made with her when I was a kid. And I found the perfect cut file that was already designed for me on Creative Fabrica, and I just cut that out with my Cricut Maker and put that on a transfer sheet and just applied that to my block. And I used this paper transfer tape, and the only thing I don't like about this is it's so cloudy and it makes it hard to center your vinyl onto your project, which I had some issues with, and then I wasn't able to pull that up and remove it, but I will show you guys what I did to fix that. Since I didn't get my decal perfectly centered on my block and I couldn't remove the vinyl, and I didn't want to redo this project, I decided to just add some jute twine to the left side of my wooden block, and that just helps the vinyl look more centered and maybe look intentional, like I planned it that way. So that's just a trick that you can do sometimes if your decals aren't perfectly centered on your projects. And I just secured that with some hot glue on the back and just wrapped that a couple of times around my sign. This next project is a perfect one to make for Christmas gifts. I'm doing several of these this year for different people, and you will need some of the pot holders that you can find from the Dollar Tree that have just the smooth fabric pocket on the front, and you will need some iron-on vinyl, and you'll need a couple of goodies to put into the pocket of your pot holder. So the first thing you want to do is find some cut files for these, and I actually found several bundles on Creative Fabrica, and I'll see if I can link those in the description, but they're already perfectly put together. I didn't have to do anything but size them to fit my pot holder, and then I just cut out several at once and weeded them out and got them ready to iron on to the pot holders. once my designs were weeded out and ready to go, I got my Cricut press heated up and I was ready to apply them to the pot holders. So I just warmed up the front of the pot holder there for just a few seconds and centered my design and covered that with my protective covering. And I just ironed that on according to the instructions for my vinyl. And this particular one took about 25 to 30 seconds on about 300 degrees. I did have to adjust the temperature just a little bit to get that adhered well. And then I just removed the transfer sheet, and these are super cute. I'm making several of these all at one time. Now for the fun part. You get to add all of your goodies to your pot holder, and you can personalize these for each individual, or you can just do what I did and I got the same things to put in each pot holder. It just makes it a little bit easier, but you can switch out the cookie mix and do whatever kind of flavors that you would like to do, but these are a really cute gift idea. That wraps up today's video. I hope you enjoyed these projects that will look really cute in your kitchen or dining room this year for Christmas. And several of these would make great gift ideas if you're needing something last minute and just want to make something quick. And I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and please consider subscribing to my channel, giving this video a thumbs up, and clicking that notification bell so you don't miss any future videos. And we'll see you guys in the next one.